In Enugu, they called him Chief Obina, the generous, a man of wealth, charm, and power. People greeted him with smiles and bowed when he passed. They said, God has blessed this man. But while he smiled for the world outside, inside his mansion, a young woman named Amaka faced a silent nightmare every night. They all respected him in public, but behind closed doors, she lived in fear. In the heart of Enugu, behind the tall gates of Chief Obina's mansion, silence held secrets no one dared to question. Outsiders saw a rich, powerful man who gave to charity and wore white lace to Sunday service, but beneath that roof, a young woman's soul was quietly withering. Her name was Amaka, and every evening as the sun dipped low, her heartbeat quickened, not from beauty, but from fear. Amaka had come from Soka to Enugu to find work to help her younger siblings after their mother passed. Chief Obina had promised her safety and good pay, but that promise faded away the moment she stepped into his world. Every evening when the rest of the staff left, she was the only one who stayed, and every night the hallway to his room felt like a tunnel leading to something darker than the night itself. He never raised his voice, he never shouted. He didn't need to. His voice was calm. Amaka, come to my room, he would say every single night. Her legs would shake as she obeyed. She was alone in a city where no one would believe her over him. A man with power, with money, with charm that fooled the outside world. But Amaka knew the real man behind the curb. Some nights she cried, others she simply started at the ceiling. Numb, she would open her Bible, reading Psalms through tear, blurred eyes, whispering prayer her mother once taught her. He that dwell in the secret of the Most High. But where was the Most High now? Had he forgotten her? She counted the days, the weeks, the months, but no one came to her rescue. She remembered the first day she arrived, bright-eyed, grateful, hopeful. Chief Obina had smiled kindly, even gave her new shoes and said, You are part of the family now. If only she knew what that meant. If only someone had warned her that monsters don't always hide in the forest. Sometimes they live in mansions and call you their daughter. Each evening, she served him meals with trembling hands. Chief Obina would watch her silently, chewing slowly, eyes never blinking. Are you happy here? He asked once, as if mocking her, and she had smiled. She had to, because in that house, truth was dangerous and silence was survival. One night, she overheard him on the phone, laughing, bragging. She's still here, doesn't even fight. These village girls are obedient. Her stomach turned. The fear she had buried boiled into something else, anger. For the first time in months, Amaka clenched her fist and whispered to herself, I'm not a thing. I'm not his. That night, Amaka took out the only piece of lined paper she had. Her hands trembled as she wrote to her younger brother back in Suka. If anything happens to me, remember I tried. Forgive me if I disappear, but I want you to know that I never let him own me. She folded it carefully, kissed the corner, and hid it under her loose floorboard beside her bed. She wasn't sure she would survive what was planning next. For weeks she had kept the number. A former house help once told her to call her if things ever felt wrong. Amaka had been afraid until now. That night, she whispered, Auntie Uju, it's me. I'm still in the house. He hasn't stopped. Then Uju replied with the words she had longed to hear. I'm coming for you, and I'm not coming alone. That same night, he came again. Same time, same words. Amaka, come to my room. But this time, her door didn't open. She had locked it, sat silently behind it, with tears in her eyes and a knife under her pillow. On the other side of the door, Chief Obina stood still for a long time, then walked away, his pride bruised and something in him turning dangerous. At first light, Amaka had a sound she hadn't heard in months. A knock on the maid gate. Firm, repeated. It wasn't a staff. It was a woman in Ankara, a policewoman, and a quiet man with files. Auntie Uju had kept her word. She had brought help. For the first time in months, the gates that once felt like prison bars began to crack open. Chief Obina laughed when they confronted him. You believe a house girl over me? But Auntie Uju looked him dead in the eye. She may be a house girl to you, but to us, she's a survivor. And today, her voice is louder than your money. For the first time in years, his silence was interrupted, not by a scream, but by justice knocking on his door. Amaka didn't speak as much as she packed, just folded her clothes, the Bible, the old letter. Her hands were steady now. No more trembling, no more fear. As she closed her small bag, she looked once more at the ceiling and whispered, You didn't win. I'm still standing. She didn't need a crowd to clap or a camera to record her exit. Her victory was silent, sacred, and hers alone. With each step away from that house, she was walking toward healing and carrying with her a story that no other girl would suffer in silence again. Months later, Amaka worked in a small school, helping children learn to read and learning how to breathe freely again. Her scars didn't vanish, but they became stories of survival. And her story, it lived beyond the mansion walls. It became a lesson and a warning that not every monster roars. Some whisper, but even whispers can be heard when a woman finds her voice. When the school where Amaka taught couldn't pay salaries on time, she began searching quietly, carefully. Then one day, a woman from a private estate company offered her a position, house manager in Lekki. Good pay, safe environment, security on site. It sounded like peace. Amaka had prayed for it. She asked no one. She said yes, because what could be the worse than Chief Obina? She didn't know she was about to find out. The house was stunning, unlike anything she had ever seen in her whole life. It felt like a palace made of silence and glass, a private chef, armed guards, a strict female coordinator who said, You must never enter the upper floor without permission. Amaka felt nervous, but she told herself this time things would be different. She didn't realize that sometimes silence is not peace, it's a warning. The first night, she heard footsteps overheard, but no one was home. The second night, she heard a door slam and a child crying faintly. She asked the house chef the next morning. He just looked away and said, Mind your work. But this time, the fear was different. It wasn't loud or obvious. It was crawling, slow, like something watching her from behind walls. Then, one afternoon, as Amaka was cleaning the garden path, she saw her, a little girl, pale, silent, watching from the top floor window, the same floor they told her never to enter. Their eyes met for 1 second, and in that moment, Amaka knew this house had its own secret, and she wasn't the only prisoner. She knew she wouldn't be up there, but the child eyes kept haunting her, and some nights she heard whispers, a soft hum, even a lullaby. She touched the door handle, but it was cold. Behind it, silence, then a small knock from the other side. She knew that this would cost her everything, her job, her safety, maybe her life, but something inside her refused to stay silent again. As usual, she pushed the door slowly. It cracked open. The air changed colder, thicker, like a breath from a cave, and inside she saw things no house manager should ever witness. There, in the center of the room, was the girl from the window. Her hands were wrapped in cloth, her eyes wide with silent terror. Around her, symbols drawn in white chalks spiraled across the floor. Old photos, burnt hairs, smashed eggs. This wasn't just abuse, this was sacrifice. and the house she thought was safety was shrine disguised as a home. Amaka didn't run. She stepped forward, knees shaking with fear. She bent down and whispered, "My name is Amaka. I came from fire. I will not let you burn." The girl didn't speak, but her small hand reached out. In that instant, Amaka made a choice, not just to survive this time, but to fight. She had learned from Obina. Pain had told her that silence is what gives evil power. So days before this, she had a hidden small camera in the vent just in case, and now it was recording everything. Every candle, every rope, every horror. This time, the whole world would see. As dawn lit the sky over Lekki, Amaka walked out of yet another gate, but this time she wasn't alone. She wasn't a victim, she was a witness, a protector, a warrior. She had escaped the fire, but not quietly. She carried its heat to burn down every door still hiding demons behind wealth. This teaches us that not all devils live in darkness. Some wear perfume and build mansions, but no matter how thick the walls are, truth always finds its way out. If you enjoyed this tale, remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, don't forget to watch my other long videos on my playlist.